And even though you have admitted that the risk is exceedingly small, and in fact non-existent because there's never been a tree-related breach, that fact doesn't play into your concern for your liability as a regulated hydroelectric company, which is why you have reclassified our beloved waterway as a dam, because you have a liability concern. In 1995, the Canal Corporation came out with design guidelines for the canal recreation way. And these worked because there were no breaches. There were no tree-related incidents that caused damage or loss of life. And they say it over and over that their concern is for all the values that the canal represents. And their final sentence says, removal of trees set back from the bank, not the trees that are in the water, should be minimized since trees contribute to the visual experience and shade the route for boaters, hikers, and cyclists. They talk about the historic fabric of the communities needing to be preserved. They really care about the canal as the thing that we love, not just as an engineered structure. And I think that the culture that you're bringing in is at odds with that. So we're really conflicted about how you continue to be the right or the good stewards that you need to be, considering the culture that you're bringing in. The other thing is that when I was talking yesterday about not having scientists at the table, there's a lot of things that I'm not sure that you're factoring into your plan of doing some cherry picking when it comes to keeping some trees on the embankment. I was talking to you yesterday, Rebecca, about the microburst event we had in my neighborhood right on the canal on June 21st. We had a terrifying event. Trees came down, trees were uprooted, trees went through houses. We walked took a walk on the canal to see how much damage happened there. Because those trees are not standing-alone trees, they protected each other. And there were some snapped tops of trees, and there were some branches down, but there was not one tree that was uprooted or fell over because they weren't standing alone. And I think that kind of thing has to be factored in to your decision-making process. You can't just have a tree here and a tree there that allows for erosion and allows for not having protection. And as you know, out in Holly, we have members of our group who lost that wind buffer when we clear-cut their property, which then resulted in more trees on their property coming down, hitting their house. So as we have more extreme weather events, we have to start looking at different solutions, not solutions we would have put in play 10 years ago. And as to communication, I have hundreds of new members who have applied to our group since you brought up this plan in June or July, who are looking for information, who say they love the canal, they don't like this plan, and they're looking for some sort of compromise.
Thank you, Elizabeth. I really appreciate your comments, and I think I say that on behalf of the panel as well. And I think last night it was very, the tensions were high because of all the passion about the program and about the community.
7 or 8 years ago, the Department of Homeland Security had a 3-day public presentation on what the airport, the Holiday Inn I went to. Not many people in the public were there, but I was there. And one of the things they spoke to was we need to clear cut all the waterways on border states like New York with our Lake Ontario shoreline and the rivers like the Salmon River, the Genesee River, and the canal system at least a certain number of miles into the state because it was perceived as a threat after 9/11, and they wanted to use drones to patrol. And they had big billboards. I read every billboard. They had 50 billboards to explain this whole process. They had aerial pictures of Lake Ontario, of our canal, all the way really past Syracuse, under Lake Ontario, and they were just worried about the threat of foreign invasion. So I'm wondering, that was 7 or 8 years ago, much has happened since then. Is Department of Homeland Security having any input into any of this?